Hey guys, I'm Dov, and today I'm back with more Total War Warhammer 2 online action. We're here today with the Wood Elves in the desert, which is a bit of a strange sight, but the trees are out here marching against the Greenskins for whatever reason. And yeah, and myself against Kark. We managed to match up on ladder, so we're definitely in for a wild ride, although no wild riders here. Instead, we've got Sisters of Thorn, two Glade Riders, front line of Eternal Guard with Dryads mixed nice and wide with two Treekin, a Tree Man and an Ancient Tree Man, a single Glade Guard with Hagbane Tips. Hagbane Tips recently got a buffed where they have more armor piercing, once again do magic damage, so I figured that could be good against various savages. And yeah, there are some savages, but not the ones you would expect. We've actually got Savage Orc Boarboy Biggins, which is a interesting pick. You don't see these guys super often, but I actually really like the pick against the Greenskins. They have very high charge bonus. They do have anti-large now as well. We've got Skulkers, Doom Diver, again, great pick here. Some Spider Riders taking some heat. We've got some Foot Skirmishers as well, a couple Chariots and Goblins charging in the front line. And let's soak up this front line charge as it is going to be just absolutely glorious. Goblin Chariots coming through. We've got Azag leading the way for the Greenskins up in the air. And these Gobbo Chariots going to get a very good charge initially on the Dryads. Then as the Treekin move in, of course, they have the heavy mass to stop them up. They've also kind of got tangled up on Eternal Guard in various places. This one punching through into the back line. I thought it was maybe going to go after these Hagbane Tips, but decided to turn back around. Got some spears in reserve to help hold off the Savage Orc Boarboy Biggins there if need be. Goblins aren't going to hold up too long against this heavy tree assault here. You can see already getting terrified in various pockets over here on this side. I was trying to bait out an engagement with these Savage Orc Boarboy Biggins, but they ended up taking out quite a few of those Glade Riders. And the support of the Doom Diver as well as the magic from Azag has been pretty brutal here. Sisters of Thorn taking a lot of damage there. We did manage to drop some physical resistance for the Eternal Guard that are left all on their lonesome here. But they've managed to get a little bit of damage done so far. Dryads helping to clean up some Goblins on the front line. Trees are now punching through into the second phase here. Azag looks like he's dropping some Gorkle Fix-It, or not from Azag, from the wee little lad there, the Night Goblin Shaman. Trees are going to go after Azag a little bit, but, I mean, unless the Treekin can get a full surround, they're going to have a hard time dealing damage. But right here, I'm able to get a stop on him. Might be able to get a hit or two. Looks like he is able to pull away there, unfortunately. But over here, I'm just trying to roll through and get on the archers as quickly as possible. The Greenskins archers do a lot of armor-piercing damage. They're one of the main dangers to the Ancient Tree Men there. You know, if we look here, they actually have, especially the Savage Orc Airboys, they have 6 armor piercing per shot, which is actually quite decent for a quote-unquote non-armor piercing missile unit. But yeah, you can see them moving in here. Savage Orcs obviously aren't going to hold up a whole long time against the tree assault either. The magic attacks cutting through the physical resistance quite easily. Of course, the Ancient Tree Man has heavy enough weapon strength. He could probably one-shot the unit models anyway. But the Treekin here getting in, regular Orc Airboys back here. Got more Orc Airboys getting compromised in the front line. Skulkers are going to come in, try and bail them out a little bit here. We've also got the Boar Biggins, and that Doom Diver is continuing to fire. The Doom Diver now has primarily armor piercing as well, so it can actually go after these treemen relatively effectively. It is accurate enough, certainly. Meanwhile, on the back line, the saga of these Hagbane Tips as they've been repeatedly charged by various units, but still holding out. Continuing to overwatch fire. They managed to take down a chariot there. These Eternal Guard have been trying to protect them as well. They've managed to help hold off a little bit, but the terror is definitely an issue for the Greenskins. The Treemen, anytime we can get like a rear attack penalty from a unit, or just in general, once one unit gives out, a lot of the units are going to start to get terrified. The leadership issues are definitely pretty real for the Greenskins, but not looking great at the moment. We did manage to get a unit of Eternal Guard back here, starting to work through the crew here of this Doom Diver. Kind of strange that the Spider Riders aren't shooting them, but understandably going after more important targets over here. The Tree Men still holding out. The infantry support's getting a little bit tattered. You can see most of the Dryads and the Eternal Guard are just about gone at this point. Sisters of Thorn came back from route enough to at least drop the Shield of Thorns here, along with some Glade Riders going to get in and try and at least occupy these Orc Airboys. Again, Orc Airboys, same as Savage Orcs. So the Savage Orc Airboys, I believe it's 6 AP per shot, I want to say. Whoops, that's the Ancient Tree Man. If I can get their, maybe I can't get their unit card off one of the dead ones, huh? Anyway, yeah, I believe they have 6 AP per shot, but anyway. Both Sisters of Thorn are going to be very key here. Just having that rear charge presence, again, leading to huge leadership issues for the Greenskins in general. The Doom Diver, still online somewhat. Yeah, it looks like actually still online and firing, which is pretty impressive, honestly. But they're going to get in here, do some good armor-piercing damage. But at this point, I was able to pull the balance power back a little bit, just with that big tear route. Still slightly in favor of the Greenskins. But Azag's going to go ahead and chase off some of these Treekin here. And we're going to get into a little bit of a pitched late game scenario. Unfortunately, the Hagbane tips did finally get mostly taken out by those Spider Riders there. So that means these Eternal Guard are going to get called to serve in the front line. That's quite alright. The mobile units that come back here finally helped rout off the Doom Diver crew. There are some more Savage Orc Air Boys here, which honestly is not the best for them to fight in melee. We do have some Eternal Guards in here as well, but Savage Orc Air Boys, honestly, they do have pretty good weapon strength and melee attacks. They're not going to be terrible here, but yeah. Pretty awesome stuff. You can see the trees in the background continuing to slap out whatever units they can get a hold of. Kark's going to want to use up the rest of his ammo as much as he can here. Most of the ammo's been used up on his health unit. Obviously, you can see that one unit of Air Boys got tangled up in trees at one point, which was definitely not the best. But yeah, things are going pretty well so far. We've been able to pull things back a little bit, but at this point, things are pretty dangerous, honestly. The Greenskins still have a bit of a mobility advantage, still have some decent armor-piercing tools. Azag himself, of course, does armor-piercing. Still plenty of Savage Orc, Boarboy Biggins as well. Although they're not going to be great in a sustained fight against the trees, if they can cycle charge, take advantage of that 63 charge bonus, they can definitely do some good anti-large armor-piercing damage. Certainly easier said than done, but yeah. It's going to be tough, certainly. There are still some Eternal Guard hanging around, and I do still have some Winds of Magic for healing. Obviously, with this being a desert map, there is no forest for me to go into to get the extra Winds of Magic regeneration. I, in fact, cut it from the Ancient Tree Man because I knew I was likely not going to be fighting in the forests on this map. So, I'm going to be somewhat more limited in terms of Winds of Magic that I can bring in than I would otherwise be, but still, anytime Azag comes down like this, we're going to try and just path in everything to get a full surround. You can see the trees coming through. Azag using some foul magic, no doubt. Spirit Leech probably, yep, on the Ancient Tree Man himself, just trying to deal damage. And any of the orcs that come back from route are just going to be used, those that still have ammo, that is, just going to be used to try and put in a little bit of fire. The Ancient Tree Man has taken quite a bit of damage at this point, still has quite a bit of healing cap space left, but the Winds of Magic are going to be the prohibitive factor in terms of healing. I had also taken Awakening of the Wood, which I've been dropping on various units, but that does mean that I didn't get the very efficient single target heal of Regrowth, which certainly would have been helpful in this situation, as the regular Tree Man is getting especially low here. He's down to only about 2,500 HP, so we'll see. There's still a lot of boys out here. Balance power, once again, is not looking great, as the leadership of these two is honestly not the best. If Azag had Doom and Darkness here, he could maybe throw that down and get a leadership route, but at the same time, you know, with these two kind of back-to-back, so to speak, they can sort of support each other in that way. It's really not looking great, though, honestly. The Glade Guard have come back from route. This unit of Dryads had been chasing units off the field from the initial Terror route, and now has come back. Unfortunately, just going to get dunked on by Azag here. And Spider Riders and all these Goblins, so definitely not a great time for them. But, yeah. The Tree Men, on the other hand, they'll hold out quite well. Still continuing to just grind through. These two will be the last ones holding out, of course. Even the Treekin at this point have gone. We've still got some Earthbloods left in the tank, so we're still going to be getting some heals. But if we look at the kill totals here, 128 kills on the Tree Men, 112 on the, 129, that is, on the Ancient Tree Men, 113 on the regular Tree Men. Pretty impressive. Azag's going to do what he does best, go after these mobile isolated targets and just clean them up, make sure they can't come back from route, which is a very, very smart play. Unfortunately, these Treekin did come back from route. Unfortunately for Azag, that is. Fortunately for me, they came back from route, so they're going to be, you know, helping to clean up some of these goblins. They do cause fear, So the goblins are not going to like this situation a whole lot. They also have very good melee defense. The goblins won't be able to do a whole lot of damage. This rear charge from the Spider Riders might change things, but we'll see. As it is, Azag is starting to realize he needs to contribute to this a little bit more personally, starting to charge down in melee a little bit, but that is going to open him up to attacks from the Tree Man. You can see I got an attack in the side there. Just going to keep these two together as much as possible. You know, they're gym bros. They like to, you know, lift trees together. Oh yeah, the vines coming out and everything. It's still not looking great, honestly, on the balance of power. You can see these orc air boys. Honestly, they're actually just going to give up the fight straight up, seeing the trees coming their way. They're like, you know what, maybe this isn't the best idea. That being said, we could still get an army losses situation here. These dryads are going to chase off those goblins. These tree men, unfortunately, did end up getting cleaned up by those spider riders just through sheer weight of numbers, but we're going to fast forward a little bit through this late game here, as there is sort of some Benny Hill shenanigans going on. Trees getting chased by Azag as they're chasing goblins, and the Night Goblin Shaman turns around, gets immediately routed off. Spider Riders come in to try and support Azag. He's going to try and snipe the Tree Man here. Tree Man's down to about 800 HP. Unfortunately, the Ancient Tree Man comes in from the side there with the massive vine attack, you know, full-on Bulbasaur style, and yeah, Azag's going to retreat back up into the air. These goblins, unfortunately, the support is just, the leadership is so low at this point that they're going to tear her out very easily. And that's the biggest issue that Azag's going to run into. Despite the balance of power showing in his favor, he's going to have a tough time taking down these trees in this late game situation, just because all of this support, you know, it's tough. And especially because both of the trees have charge defense, so he's not going to be getting as much, you know, advantage from his charge bonus unless he can get in the side or rear. But granted, the treeman will very quickly turn around and start attacking him from the front, and then he's not going to get that advantage. So yeah, looks like he's a little bit stuck on the ground here. Hard to say. But maybe just deciding to turn and fight at this point, seeing that most of his other troops are routing anyway. But yeah, it's going to end up being a very, very close victory for the not the Dark Elves, the Wood Elves, the Tree Elves, if anything. Because, let's be honest, these two right here really carried the day. I mean, obviously, there were some nice contributions from the Treekin, from the Glade Guard, Eternal Guard, Dryad. They all did their parts. But these two definitely carried the day, for sure. And it was a fun battle, I have to say. That was quite the epic match. It was one of the closest battles I've had in some time. And yeah, I have to say, kill totals on some of those Dryads in the initial phase against the Goblins. They did a great job just having this wide of a build with still two very strong terror-causing units and healing. Ended up being pretty good against the Greenskins. And, I mean, Kark took a pretty well-balanced build that, while a lot of people don't necessarily have the tools to deal with the trees, he, to a degree, did. I mean, especially the new Doom Divers with the armor piercing. Might even take a couple more of these, but the Savage Orc, Boar Boy Biggins were a nice pick as well. 70 kills on these guys and an XP Chevron. Pretty good kills on the Orc Air Boys as well. They were able to get some good damage done, especially against the tree men. But yeah, 139, 144, you would expect some pretty high kill totals, but just overall, the mobile squad probably didn't do as much as they should have. The kill totals weren't very impressive on the Glade Guard, but they were taking out chariots a lot of that time as well, so, you know, you'd expect lower kill totals, and just the poison is quite useful in this situation as well. And yeah, the Dryads, definitely glad I brought them. Originally I was thinking I was going to take Durthu, and this build was going to be a bit more narrow. I think I would have got punished pretty hard for that, and I'm kind of glad, you know, I took the time to think it through, and I was like, you know, this maybe doesn't have enough numbers. If I could change a few things around here. I had Durthu and a Spell Singer, so I just decided to combine those into the Ancient Tree Man. I was like, you know, there's really not a single entity target that Durthu's going to need to fight in melee that the Ancient Tree Man can't take on. So might as well just consolidate in the Ancient Tree Man. He saves you a bunch of gold, then you can bring these Dryads to give you a wider frontline presence, and that ended up working out very well in my favor. I have to say, I'm very, very glad I did. So well played, Dakar. Hope you guys enjoyed watching that epic showdown. If you do like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification button so every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.